Hello guys, Robot One Duelist here, and welcome to another episode of Duels and Deck Profiles, a segment on my channel where I showcase a deck, do a duel with it, show you what the deck does, and tell you basic reasons for why I've been playing this deck and what the deck does. So today we're looking at Witchcrafters, a deck that I actually really do enjoy and am trying to craft in real life right now. It's a deck that I personally have been finding a lot of enjoyment in, and it's just something that I find really fun in general. So I thought for this episode of Duels with Deck Profile, do a deck that I personally really enjoy, seeing as I don't really have anything else I really want to do for Duels with Deck Profiles right now. So this is what I wanted to do. So I've got my Witchcrafter deck here. It's something that I've been kind of working on, trying new things, different things, and I feel like I found a list that I personally really do like, think it is consistent, works very well, has its own little kinks and checks that I really like. But before we go into this, I'm going to say this now. Witchcrafter, no matter what you do to them, are not competitive. This is a casual deck. It is one of the most enjoyable casual decks I've had fun with in a while, because it kind of goes back to the old days where it's just like it's kind of slow. It doesn't do a lot, but it does have its own niche little combos that do work really well. But it's something that I enjoy, and I wanted to show you what I've come up with it. So I came up with this list. I feel like it's consistent enough and works enough for my own tastes, and we're gonna get into it. So starting off, we play 2 Aurora. This is this is the actual hand trap for the deck that just keeps recycling itself. It allows you to get rid of your opponent's monsters, and also allows you to recycle your Witchcrafter spells and trap cards. Whenever your Witchcrafter is targeted by, whenever a spellcaster actually is targeted for battle, or when it is targeted for by an effect. So it's just free summon ability that also gives you which also recycles itself and allows you to either recycle cards or disrupt your opponent. One Vera. I don't like her up more than one. I've been like, I don't want to draw her, and drawing her does kind of suck. But we have ways to actually get her out of the hand anyway. Plus, um, if she dies, we have multiple ways to revive her, so one is enough. One Haney. Hani, I don't actually know how you pronounce this one. It just basic disruption. Pop face up cards on the board to kind of just get rid of these problem cards that I don't really want to deal with. One Adele, because she actually summons the bigger ones from the hand, so just free summon ability. Plus, she can tribute herself to target a spellcaster in the graveyard and revive it. So free revivability is always nice. Triple Shurmita. Um, this is the best lower level one, because all the lower level ones have the same effect of where you can just discard one to summon one from the deck, but they also have graveyard effects. And this one is the best one purely because it allows me to send a Witchcraft card from my deck to graveyard, and I'm normally going to be sending a Witchcraft spell card, but all of the Witchcraft spells recycle themselves if I control a Witchcraft. So free of this one, we also play free Tori. Pitori is another really good one where you can just banish. It does the same thing as the Shrimiti, but it also can banish itself from the graveyard to draw a card, and also send a Witchcraft card from your hand to the graveyard. So if you draw a dead Witchcraft spell, then you can just discard it and then add it back at the end of your turn. So it kind of gives you that way to have that infinite resource of recyclability. Plus, if you have multiples of a card in your hand that you don't really want, it's a good way to get rid of it to also potentially draw back card. We also do play for the large Witchcraft monster, one Potiri. She's kind of one of the weaker ones where she does the same as the other two, obviously. But if you've got no cards in your hand, you can add a Witchcraft card from your deck from your graveyard to your hand. So she's kind of one of the not as good ones, but she's still kind of needed just because of you need that extra name to be able to just guarantee that you can get to that Witchcraft. For the hand traps, though, we do play Triple Ash. Obviously, it's the best hand trap in the game. For spells, though, we play one Collaboration. Just allowing me to attack twice with any of my Witchcraft monsters is actually really nice. Normally, it's going to be Golem or Aurora, whatever you pronounce it, because it's just a free 56 damage, which is actually kind of nice. And we play Triple Pot of Extravagance because it's a free +2, and you don't really use your extra deck too much in the deck anyway. Free Creation because the searcher of the deck searches any of the little ones, and it essentially means I'm playing 10 little monsters. One Foolish Burial because send Shemitah to then recycle anything. Uh, what two sabotage or holiday, whichever you pronounce it, whichever you want for the OCG or TCG, because it is a monster reborn for any of your witchcraft monsters, normally reviving Vera. So yeah, one monster reborn just because it's a free revival in general. Free called by the grave because of you discards. Basically, your spell cards are all the spell cards in this deck are just free fodder for all of your witchcrafters. So called by the grave kind of has a double use where if I get hand trapped, I can use it to get with a hand trap, or I can discard it if it's a dead card in my hand to then get into one of my bigger witchcrafters. Um, One draping, because it's just back row removal. Being able to, you're normally going to have one or two monsters on the board anyway, so having a free recyclable back row removal is always really nice. One scroll because you kill something, you by battle, you kill something, just draw a card. One buy street because free protection is always good. Two different DDR because all of your monsters, all of your lower monsters banish themselves, so it's just a free revival card to be able to bring back your Shmi or your Patore. So just free revivability from the banish zone is always really nice. Triple impermanence, same reason as Gas Blossom, just free revivability. And free summon limit, because summon limit is just one of the better floodgates in this format, being that you don't really summon much in this deck anyway. So you just flip this on your opponent and you're like, you're going to play at my speed now. So yeah. But for extra deck, and honestly, the extra deck doesn't really mean much. It's just choices that are kind of good and can be used. One Heater, because free revivability of fire monsters, because we prefer fire. One Phoenix, because back row removal. One Unicorn, because remove all cards. One BLS, because it's just a really good card to stop strikers, and if you make this against the striker matchup, you win. One Apostolos Goddess Bow. It's there. I'm not going to go into it. One Boral Sword, one Boral Load, one Tropological Bomber Dragon. You're normally not going to go into the Link 4s because you won't really have the resources to, but they are there for if you ever need to go into them. One Dweller because you can potentially make a rank 4s. One Exoton Knife for a board wipe. One Tornado Dragon for back row removal. One Time Thief Redo because it's just one of the best generic rank 4s in the game. One Trapeze Magician to make other things attack twice. One Dark Rebellion Exceeds Dragon just to boost my monster. And one Hope Harbinger because I want to negate your spells and steal them. So yeah. But that's the main deck. Honestly, guys, I've been testing this deck quite a lot, and I feel like it is something that I personally do enjoy in general. So let's actually get into a duel with this deck to show you what the deck can do. So we'll go ahead and host the match. Hopefully, it doesn't take too long to get into a game. But I really do enjoy Witchcrafters. It's not one of those decks that are just super competitive and just really do a lot, but it's one of those decks that, yes, that it's a lot slower than most other decks, but even though it's slower than other decks, we're going second, most likely. It's just something that's really enjoyable and really fun. So we've opened not so it's not a great hand, but because we have opened a little one with like Scroll and Buy Street, it's just free recyclability. We also opened Haney. You don't normally want to open your bigger ones, but we can actually summon Haney from the hand anyway, so it's fine. So we're going to start by summon Potiri, and we're going to use Potiri's effect to discard our Buy Street. And we're going to go ahead and summon Adele. Adele is summoned, and we're going to use Adele to discard our Scroll, which will then summon Haney. So there you go, 2 monsters instantly, and we get to recycle both our spell cards. So now we'll go into the battle phase, go ahead and attack the set monster. It's a Mizuki, that's fine, and we'll go ahead and attack directly for 2k. So this was actually this was an alright opening hand because we did open a big battle damage phase, and plus 2 hand traps, and plus we get to recycle both of our scrolls, both of our spell cards in the end of the turn anyway, because they both have recyclability effects. So we get to place them both back on the board. We've got our standalone protection, and if we kill more monsters, we get to draw cards. And also, these have a built-in effect to destroy face-up cards, so if he does summon something like a Unizombie or something, we can get over it. So, seeing as he's just setting one and passing, we're going to go ahead and get rid of Buy Street to kill his Zombie World, because I do like to have Spellcasters. Alright? And we drew a Called by the Grave, so we're not going to use the Called by the Grave. We are going to go ahead and just go into the battle phase again. We're just going to go into the battle phase again and attack his set monster. Alright, so attack. It's another Mizuki. Our scroll lets us get a draw. And we drew a Veer. So we're going to get rid of the Called by the Grave now. Actually, no, we'll get rid of the scroll during our opponent's turn. Because the Called by the Grave could actually be useful. So, and we're still in the battle phase actually, so yeah, we'll get rid of the scroll now. It's already done its purpose. Summon the Veer. Then we'll attack directly. For that 1k. Now we'll go into main phase 2. Set the Called by. And we'll go ahead and pass turn. In the end phase, our buy streak will trigger, letting us place it back on the board, having that all-round protection. And it's now the opponent's turn. So, as you can see, this deck is basically just try to get as many big monsters on the board as possible. Adele being that one that just gives you the free summon ability from the hand. Then you've got Hain that pops face-up cards. There's multiple ways to actually play the deck. And I know deck isn't giving us much of a fight, but this deck, and he surrendered. But this deck isn't something that does a whole lot. Like, we'll have another game just to show you what else, just to show you what a normal hand would be like. But this deck, its main purpose is literally control the game as much as possible, and while you're controlling the game, just try to get that damage in to win the game. And that's kind of why I'm attracted to this deck, because it's something that's a lot slower, yes, but it's something that's a lot more enjoyable at the same time. So we've opened Pitore, which we can use its effect actually without having to banish the card. So we'll go ahead and use Pitore, getting rid of Buy Street. And we'll go ahead and summon out the Veer. So summon out Veer in defense. And then we'll use Pitore to draw a card. Okay? So we drew Foolish Burial, which is actually a really good draw here, because I can go ahead and put a Schmidt in the grave, which will essentially allow me to get any of my Witchcrafter spells from the deck. So go ahead and banish the Schmitter, and send to the graveyard a Creation, just for instance. We'll go ahead and also set the impermanence, and we'll we'll go to the end phase. In the end phase, our effects will trigger, so we'll go ahead and use Creation to add back to our hand, and we'll go ahead and use Buy Street for that just free protection. You will normally want to get Buy Street in your graveyard as soon as possible, just because it is the one that gives you that free blanket protection in your deck. So we've got the Veer. He's playing Pendulums from the looks of it. So he's going to activate the spell power control. That's fine. Mastery. So he's playing Pendulum, which honestly is fine. Because we've got the Impermanence, we've got an Ash Blossom. I can prevent things. And we've also got the Veer, which will just give me a blanket negation anyway for like his Guard Dragons. Alright. So he's got the Endymion. He's probably going to start using effects now. So he's playing Terraforming. So he might not be playing a Pendulum Magician variant or a Zofra variant. He might be playing something else. No, he's playing a Pendulum, but he's probably going to be able to send a Dark Worm to the graveyard. Okay. So depending on what he discards with the Dragon Ravine, I'm probably going to Ash. So he sends one to the grave. He sends a Destrudo. I think the best play here is to Ash the Blossom, because Ash Blossoming just ensures that he can't do anything else. Okay. Well, it gives him that play, but it's like, oh, okay, so he's playing the Zephyr build. That's good. That's okay. I'm fine with that. And we'll see what he does from there. So he's definitely going to put a Zephyr Nui in the extra deck. There's like no world I see where he doesn't do that. So, okay. Like, right now we're just sitting on one negate, and it's like, play the game. And I honestly think he's going to go ahead and summon the Servant now, because summoning the Servant just makes the most sense when you think about it. Okay, so he puts the Zefraxiton in the extra deck. Okay, interesting. Maybe he opened the Zefraxi. Okay, it's Pendulum Summoning. All right. Zefraxi kills face. cards, right? Yeah. So summon Zefraxy. Anything else? Ah, there it is. There's two, okay. And I'm going to use the Veer when he goes all into the chain links, because it just prevents these from triggering, and it means that I'm just a lot safer. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and use the Veer. Veer will get rid of the buy streak, because I want to be able to search next turn. Alright, so he's lost all of his face-up effects. And he's most likely going to go into an Electromite now, which I'll negate with Impermanence. Alright. There it is. So he activates the Servant, which is fine. I wish Veer just had that blanket negation for all cards, including after it as well, because that would just give it so much more potential. But that's fine. Oh, he's okay. So he's chosen to go for the Magister, Mighty Magister. All right. So that will prevent my Impermanence. All right. That's fine. All right. Like, he can't go Guard Dragon combo. So I'm curious where this is going to lead. I feel like he should have killed this as well. Yeah, he should have killed this. Because if he killed this, then he would get to add the counter trap, right? No, he's already activated the effect, never mind. Okay, so he draws a card. As long as it's not a Dark Worm, I should be fine. Because I know I'm going to take some damage and he's going to be able to negate my stuff, but it's like, I don't really care. Alright, so he's using the Destrudo, paying half his life. That's fine. Okay. He's not beating over my Veer right now. I know that. That actually lets him beat over my Veer. Okay. Well, I might as well force him to return this to his hand at least. So he would be forced to return this to his hand. I mean, this to his hand, so he gets rid of that possibility. Plus, he gets rid of one of his negates, which is nice. Kind of comes down to what I can draw as well, because if I can't draw like a Witchcrafter monster, then I do kind of lose here. Yeah, he negates the impermanence, then he would have killed the set card anyway. And it means if he wants to summon it, he has to tribute his two monsters. Which I'm honestly fine with. He can tribute them if he wants. Like, it's not a big deal to me. Also, he's almost run out of time, so I might just win by timer. I doubt it, but it could happen. Alright, so he removes one from there, kills my Veer. Alright. Then he's going to probably go into the battle phase, hit me for 32, and then pass, I would think. No, oh, no, he's making Boral Sword. That's not game, though. What? That's game, though. Okay, so that's game. So yeah, I've lost this game, but I hope you can see what the Witchcrafters basically do. Like, they're not a powerful deck. They're something that just they have their own play style. They are slow, but they're a lot of fun to play. And I hope that's something I could show you in this game, in these two games. Yes, they have the ability to be somewhat fast at times, with like Adele being able to just power out loads of cards, but majority of the time the deck is really slow and it does have its potential to be good. It's not something that will always be good. Like for some, like dueling something like pendulums, I could have probably played that better. I should have probably negated the mastery to prevent the servant from being able to come out. But thinking ahead of it, it was like if I do that, then he could pendulum call, he could do stuff like the Dragon's Ravine, and I feel like hitting the Dragon's Ravine was something really important to do anyway. But this deck has its own playstyles. It's a lot of fun to play, and I highly suggest if it's something that you guys just want to test out on the side, something for casual Yu-Gi-Oh in general. It's definitely a deck that's really fun to play. But guys, that's the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what your thoughts are of Witchcrafters in the comment section below so I can hear your thoughts and opinions. And I will see you guys in the next one. Robot One signing out. Witchcrafters, it's just a lot of fun, okay? Later all.